Tell me how many of you guys experience this, because I know it can't just be me. Why is it that I can grab my slingshot, I can go out, set up a bunch of cans, and just blast them all day long with this 1/2-inch clay slingshot ammo, but the second I switch over to some 3/8-inch steel, especially if I miss, my eyes just start watering because I'm crying about how much money I'm wasting. My brothers and sisters, this should not be. Today we're making a fancy pants catch box with pocket filler upper 3000 so that I can freely shoot steel balls without a single care in the world for money or other peripheral things like where this piece of steel is going at 300 feet per second. All this and more on today's ZNA production. Here you go. Hope you guys like it. I don't know what to tell you guys. You knew it had to be this way. We're starting with the good old big giant not EDPH, the good old EDPH blue rain barrel. What is that stuff called? HDPE. Oh, that's pretty close. It's pretty close, but you couldn't be further. Guys, do not go to Tractor Supply and buy a $120 brand new rain barrel. I promise you, if you download OfferUp, there factually is some 20-something-year-old vegan hippie who's 10 miles away from you who bought one of these things thinking she'd be able to drink rainwater off of her roof, and then she got food poisoning from all the bird poop, and now she gets nauseous when she looks at the barrel, and she's gonna sell it to you for 15 bucks. I promise you guys, don't go to Tractor Supply. Not for the rain barrel, for pretty much everything else, not rain barrels. Gotta bring this over to some flat ground. Just kidding, I couldn't find any. We're bringing flat ground to the barrel. Alrighty, pay attention to the holes in the top. We want these things to run horizontal to the big door we're gonna cut out of the front. So I'm gonna use this middle seam right here as kind of a reference point. This is like the dead center of the barrel. So if I run a tape measure from one seam to the other, just about 35 inches, half of 35 is 17 and a half. And I want this opening to be as big as possible. I want the door to basically be the whole entire front of it. So I'm just gonna kinda right there. And if I stand back, yep, you might not be able to see it, but I just put a little mark right there. And when I stand right here directly in front of the barrel, I can just barely see that mark. So that tells me that's really the perfect spot to put my line. And that is 5 inches from the seam. 5 inches here, 5 inches there. And here's where that flat ground comes in. You grab your drywall square. Perfect. Right, and I'm gonna put a mark right where I can kind of see the barrel start to curve a little bit. That's gonna be 4 inches down. And for the bottom edge, you're gonna do a little bit more of a lip than you think you need to. These steel balls are really gonna bounce around off of this plastic, so the more lip you have on the bottom, the less of a chance there is it's gonna bounce out. But again, I'm really trying to maximize the size of this door, so I'm just gonna go 5 inches. For your catch box, this next step is totally optional. But doing these big gigantic pilot holes for the jigsaw is going to make the inside corners nice and round, and I think it's just going to look a lot better. Feel free to go with some sharp right angles though, it doesn't really make a difference. I wonder if this will work, if I can get the horizontal line with this bungee cord. Yeah, why not? It's actually kind of hilarious how well that worked. Crazy thing is, I've seen people do haircuts like that. These things are shockingly light. Once this thing's finished, I bet it's actually gonna be pretty portable. Cuts like a dream too. It's just a nice build so far. No way. Today's sponsor, AG1. Guys, by any chance today, hyper-masculine, I don't know, bald podcaster get you real excited to try AG1 at one point?
It's entirely possible.
If that's the case, I got some great news for you. The next generation of AG1 is here, and they got flavors, baby. I'm talking tropical, berry, citrus. That one's my favorite. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the original flavor is also revamped too. For those of you who don't know, AG1 is a drinkable multivitamin with pre and probiotics. Me personally, I'm just not really a breakfast guy. I get naturally hungry around like 12 o'clock. But if you ever tried taking a multivitamin on an empty stomach, let me just save you like half a day of gut-wrenching nausea. don't freaking do it, okay? AG1, on the other hand, I've been using these travel packs in my house. They actually work in your house too. I just dump one of them into my pre-workout in the morning, and it's an epic solution for filling out those little nutrient gaps that might pop up in your diet. Now, if you guys use my code and subscribe to AG1, you're gonna get 76 bucks worth of free stuff. This is part of it. You're gonna get a 130-day supply of AG1, which is already nuts. You're gonna get the reusable metal container, the perfect portion scoop, 5 whole travel packs, the signature AG1 shaker bottle, plus AG1's vitamin D3 and K2 compound. You know, K2 actually doesn't even absorb without D3. Kind of makes you think, how'd they both get in that one bottle? Thank you very much, AG1, for sponsoring the video. Let's get back to it. A little deep-dot-do, a little boop-bop-bee, and we're ready to put the supports inside. Oh, and the marker just falls right off with some denatured alcohol. Ooh, baby. Now, do go to Home Depot and grab the 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch select pine board. This one's 8 feet long. We're gonna cut 2 pieces that are 26 inches. And you know what? While we're at the miter saw, let's do a couple of 18-inch pieces as well. I just realized you can kind of see the supports from the outside, so I'm going to go ahead and give them a little paint job. So these braces have 2 functions. Number 1, they keep the edges here from deforming and squishing inwards, which happens when you leave them out in the sun for a long time. The supports keep the edges straight. Ooh, ouch. But also, as you can see, I took a little bit of time to put these screw hooks in here. This is what the bungee cords are going to hook onto. Is that cool? Now I take one of these 18-inch pieces, put it right behind these little ridges right here. I have a little flat surface. There you go. I got a 20-inch wide, roughly 60-inch long piece of this upholstery fabric. Really nice heavy stuff. I'll fold it over on itself, pass the 18-inch piece through, and somehow I forgot to press record, I guess, but you just put screws through the top of the barrel into the piece of wood that you have put the piece of fabric over, and that's how it hangs. And here's our legs, 2x4s obviously. 2 of them are 32 inches and 1 of them is 34. Really simple, 10-degree cut on one end and 2 10-degree cuts on the other end. So the 3 legs will kind of splay out and half of the 2x4 will be making contact with the floor. This just prevents splintering a little bit while you're scooting the thing around. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not gonna be way too precise with this. Given that there's 3 legs, it's gonna be self-leveling, so it can't really rock. All I'm gonna have to do is 1 leg in the back and then 2 legs in the front. This is so I can put the pocket filler upper 3000 in the front right there. I like to start the screws just a little bit so they'll be held in place. And you can just kind of poke the 2x4 onto them before you screw them in. Oh, that's wobbly. Well, I could definitely still shoot it. Oh, I'm not trying to shoot the target. I'm trying to see if it will catch it. There we go. Nice. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this thing is perfectly functional as is, but I really wanted to take it to the next level. My vision was not to have to walk up and scoop ball bearings out with my fingertips. I wanted them all to like funnel and consolidate into a detachable little container that I could pop off and just dump straight into my pocket. I spent way too long racking my brain trying to figure out how I was gonna melt the whole entire bottom of the barrel into a giant funnel. But as I was walking around, I looked in that spider-infested corner over there and I found this. I washed it off. It's just a regular old trash can lid. If you can kind of see where I'm going with this, it seems, or I should say I'm hoping, that it's the perfect size for the inside there. I am gonna have to trim off these handles though. Should be easy work. And by the way, these are $2 at Menards. Oh boy, fingers crossed. Ooh. Okay, Okay, I either have to trim down the wooden parts or I have to cut a little rectangle out from the trash can lid. I'll probably do that. Oh wow, that is perfect. Thank you, Lord. That's awesome. So the plan is to put a hole right here. There are plenty of like ridges and stuff that balls could get, that ball bearings could get caught up on. Now, I don't really mind walking up and having to just like flick one ball bearing down the hole. The main point is that it's just like a really easy way to quickly reset every single round. Hey, they went in. I got these plastic jars at Michael's. They look like glass, but they're not. That's awesome. All right, my two sort of remaining, holy smokes. My two remaining issues with this thing is, number one, this is just way too wobbly. And also the legs are just like sitting funny. It's pretty clear I'm gonna need some kind of extra stabilization. The way I'm gonna handle it is I just took some steel bar, put a couple of holes in the end, and I just kind of eyeballed a little bend right there. Same on both ends. So I'll just start with one screw on both sides, and this leaves it posable. So I can tweak it, make sure that both of the legs are perfectly symmetrical with each other. Looks pretty good to me. And the second set of screws will lock it in place. And then from there, I'm just gonna do the same thing between the front legs and the back leg. And here's how I'm hanging the cans in the catch box. It's a really common trick amongst enthusiasts. I just pulled the little pinch grip out from a binder clip. I tied it in a knot in one of these little bungee cords. This just keeps the cans from sliding side to side, but then you just pinch it and slip it into the mouth of the can. It's just a much more stable way of holding it than trying to like hang it from the tab. The tab will pop off really pretty quick. You can get about 2 knots before this just won't stretch far enough, but if you don't want to be tying knots in your bungee cords, you can also cross a couple of bungee cords, and the can will hang pretty centered there too. So I'm actually going to try putting the portability of this thing to the test. I'm going to bring it to the archery range. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go about 20 yards. It's gonna look way longer on camera. These wide angle lenses really do a number on the depth perception. It's always thrown me off. I've seen videos of people shooting like mints and match heads from, it looks like a mile away, but then I check the comments and they say that they're shooting at 10 yards. Not gonna lie, it's kind of encouraging when you find that out. I do wish I brought my more narrow lens though. I might just have to move the camera closer. That makes me nervous. It is really nice to be able to practice with steel out here. I always have to bring clay. It's just nowhere near as accurate. All right, here we go. Let's go for the top. Ooh, that was close. Just to the left. I can hear him clinking into that plastic jar. It's really satisfying. Right under. Got it. It's my, what, 5th shot? Got him. Got him. This is very satisfying. This is epic. Got him. That's 3 in a row. There's some days where I just feel like I'm never gonna get any better, and then I have days like this. Kind of keeps you going. Got him. Kind of a glancing blow. Man, this is nice. There's no one out here. Nice cool breeze, sitting in the shade. Not hitting cans. Got him. These 3/8 steel balls really put a wallop on those cans. If you hit them like 5 times, they rip in half. It's pretty cool. Thank you, Lord. That top can's a real tough guy. I don't know why every time I shoot I have this reflex where I have to turn around and see if anybody's watching. Like I'm gonna get in trouble or something. It's just the Dennis the Menace in me, I guess. Got him. There's a point where you can tell there's a big hole in the can because you're seeing the balls hit the can, but then the can's barely moving, so it's just like passing straight through. Yeah, see if I can go just a little bit low, hit that bottom part, try to tear it. Got him. Oh, thank you, God. I'm so glad I'm getting better. Some days are like, I'll be honest, pretty discouraging. Days like this are really nice. I wish I kept better track of how long I've been shooting for. I shot for maybe a couple of weeks last winter. I didn't really get any good practice though, because I was just like shooting out of the window at a can that was dangling from a tree. And I just had one of those Black Widow slingshots that I kind of retrofitted with flat bands. So it was just very, very inaccurate. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. I don't know, if you count from where I like really started shooting, it's like a real slingshot. I think you could say I've been shooting probably about 2.5 months at this point. I think I'm making good progress. And I'm gonna be making a lot more progress now that I got this thing, that's for sure. I'm hitting it repeatedly, but I must be hitting like a little flappy dangly part because it's not seeming to do any more damage. Sorry about my voice too. Let's go for the lower cans. I believe that was a hit. I was shooting the sling bow here for a while. I gotta say, it's really nice just being able to shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and not have to walk down there for anything. I mean, I got about like 400 rounds of 3/8 inch steel down here. I'll move you guys down there, why not? I haven't missed the catch box once yet. Not that that's impressive. Check that out. Nice. This thing freaking works. Man, he's feeling it. These guys could use a little more though. Feels like I'm milking the ball bearing cow. Hope you liked it. That's all I got for today. Thanks. Bye.